across the country, everyday Americans are standing up and they're speaking out. And based on what I've seen, there is more than enough reason to have faith in America.
We really like Sarah Palin. She speaks for us in a lot of ways. She is real.
She's family-oriented, very honest. She says it like it is.
She's a normal person, just like every one of us. And I like that because I'm a farm wife. It shows that she can do what we can do.
The heart of America is good small towns just like this one.
Very nice, very kind to us, including our two small kids.
Pretty down to earth.
She's awesome.
Oh, we love her.
It's not just me, it's so many Americans. I think we're seeing a great awakening of the American public. These folks love this country. They want to make sure that we are handing the next generation the blessings of liberty. And that is why it's so important for people to get engaged.
Look around you. You're not alone. You are Americans.
I have a feeling for what she is and why she's so popular.
A good woman that has God and America in her heart.
A smart, intelligent woman.
She has it all. Her courage and her strength.
Hearing from these people encourages me to fight an aggressive fight.
She is fearless, she is principled, and she is a mama grizzly.
Hopefully I can inspire others in order to affect positive change.
She does things differently. She plays by her own rules.
Gutsy, spirited, real.
She says the work isn't done yet.
Solutions come from you, and America's hope is in you.
Let's do what we know America needs done. Empower the people of America.
We've got to do this together. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Iowa. I'm so happy to get to be here. Todd and I are just thrilled to get to have traveled from Alaska to get to visit with you all and to be here on the Iowa State Fairgrounds. It brings back some really good memories. And as we're driving through, I'm looking around, where's that fried butter on a stick? That's what I miss. Those fried Twinkies, and didn't see it on the menu, doggone it. But wonderful, wonderful to get to be here with you. We love being in Iowa. The heart of the country, it's just so reflective of what's good about America. You are so reflective of what's good about America. You're unpretentious, hardworking, humble, very candid. You tell it like it is, and you'll tell a politician exactly what it is that you're thinking and desiring in our country, and that's appreciated. I love that candidness, and absolutely wonderful to get to be here with Phyllis Schlafly. I was a teenager in college, and I remember not having grown up in a real political family, school teachers for parents, and just common sense, good folks in the family, but not really politically active. Ronald Reagan was president at the time, and I remember tuning in to Phyllis Schlafly and Beverly LaHaye and some of these women who certainly seemed to have a lot of answers that our country needed to hear. And as a teenager, I remember paying some subscription dues to, I think it was the Phyllis Schlafly Report. It was Eagle Forum and Concerned Women for America. And in my dorm room even, I had a decal on the window, Concerned Women of America, instead of like a Madonna poster or something like that. And I thought, man, I'm probably the only one on campus with such a thing. But recognizing even back then how important it was for women, for all concerned Americans to stand up and be able to work for truly equal opportunity without government telling us how to do it, but culturally to allow opportunity for all. And that's what Phyllis helped usher in, that mentality, that thinking. I wish I had her energy. She just cited the verse about those that wait upon the Lord will renew their strength. They'll mount up like with wings as eagles, and they'll run and not be weary. And that is Phyllis. And I'm thinking, well, I went running this morning through some hills in Iowa, and I was really weary. So I need that kind of strength. We all do, from someone like Phyllis. She paved the way. She shattered glass ceilings left and right, and again, didn't rely on government to do it for us. She had the elbow grease and the brains and the wherewithal to just get things done for not just women in America, but for all in America. So absolutely honored to be here. She's the original Mama Grizzly. Well, Faith and Freedom Coalition, I want to thank you for amplifying our voice, for taking the good cause around the country, for resisting that fundamental transformation that so many liberty-loving Americans never signed up for. You remind us of the inherent link between faith and freedom. Our rights are endowed by our Creator, and faith is the integral part in securing our liberty. That's what it is that you represent and remind and empower us to live out. And our founders knew this. John Adams, remember, wrote that our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate for the government of any other. But look around today. Everywhere it seems that we see that faith, our religious freedom, is under attack, and it's pushed out of the public square, and it's censored. You'll see it blatantly. Keep your eyes and ears open for this. You'll see it blatantly come this holiday season. Around Christmas time, it seems to really rear its head lately. You'll see the censorship and the double standards unless we do something about it. Friends, we need a great awakening about this. We need a call to action. So I want to talk about what that battle is that's brewing. The phrase war on Christmas sounds like an oxymoron. I mean, how can there be a war about the holiday that celebrates the Prince of Peace? But Christmas is under attack, and it's a symptom of a bigger issue. We hear story after story now of some ACLU letter being sent to a school district threatening them, telling them you better not sing Silent Night, or a college campus being banned from having Christmas tree sales, or the traditional innocent nativity scene banned from public display, lest that little plastic baby doll that's nestled in a dusty hay-filled manger gives such offense to an angry atheist armed with an attorney. Well, I'm not going to just lament the problem of our eroding freedom to worship and celebrate our faith. I'm going to do something about it, and I challenge you to also. I just wrote about this. Tuesday, I have a book that comes out, and I say in a very jolly, Christmassy way, enough is enough. Say enough is enough of this politically correct police out there that is acting to erode our freedom to celebrate and exercise our faith. Some Scrooge wants to force Christ out of Christmas and wants to ban Jesus as the reason for the season. Now, I wrote about this, and the book is more than just talk about more politically correct Scrooges shouting bah humbug. See, the war on Christmas is just the tip of the spear in a larger battle to marginalize expressions of faith and make America's true religious freedom just a thing of the past. So I wrote answers and actions to protect the heart of Christmas, and I did mix in there funny family stories and unique family traditions and Alaskana recipes. There's some entertainment in there. It's not a political lecture, and shoved down your throat type of narrative. But I even include in there my moose chili recipe. I want you guys to know how we do that. And what it is, though, it is a call to action, and it's imperative, because we must protect our constitutionally protected freedom of faith. See, it's really interesting to me that, and that's why I want to take this on tonight, interesting that the Scrooges, those who are so often the people who are too enlightened for religion, for church, well, they're the very same people who have a zealot-like faith in their own church, which happens to be the church of big government. And what's that done for you lately? Oh, they're so enlightened. What's it done for you lately? Let's see. One agency of our big bloated government purposefully targeted and harassed innocent conservative citizens just because they happen to disagree with the liberal policies of our sitting liberal president. Another agency spied on our phone calls and secretly sucked in every piece of digital data ever passed across the internet. Another couldn't be bothered to defend our U.S. ambassador and consulate on the anniversary of 9/11 during a murderous terrorist attack, and then we were blown off with a flippant response of, "What difference does it make?" And another transformed overnight from friendly Smokey the Bear type park rangers helping the tourists into a police force that was barricading and tossing out our World War II veterans from their own war memorials. And folks, the crowning achievement of their church of big government, Obamacare, with its architect, the president, now broadcasting his ShamWow-style infomercials, defending this train wreck in all of its deception. Well, you can see they think that their church of big government knows best with Obamacare. Oh goodness, even if you liked your own health care plan, you can't keep it because you silly goose, you silly Iowans, you didn't really like that health plan that you had and that you could afford. You just thought you liked it. Our dear leaders know better, and they won't let you keep it, nor afford your new one, because what do you Hicks and flyover country know? What do those hockey moms in Wasilla know about how to raise our families or run our businesses or spend our own income or run our own lives according to our own priorities or manage our own health care? Well, the lapdog media, they let them get away with all of this, the lies, the deception for far too long, and irreparable damage is done. This recent, though, tiny acknowledgement that it's the Obama website that's broken. That's the problem. Just fix it. Fix the website. That's the ticket. Don't worry, people's government says now they've called in the best and the brightest to fix the website. Good Lord, a broken website? I don't give a flying flip about a malfunctioning website. That is just another distraction. It is a de minimis fix, is what you'll find with working on a broken website. That does nothing to address the far left's stifling, strangling, shackling agenda on America. Don't give a rip about it. Those website fixer-uppers sent in to save the day for Obama. Again, it's just a distraction. The best and the brightest, so he says, they'll fix it. Hey, supposedly the best and the brightest have been calling the shots for quite a long time now. And where has that gotten you? Well, what do the best and brightest have to show for it? Poverty is aggressively on the rise in this land of plenty, and unemployment is still ticking up, and got shuttered businesses, shuttered cities, record number of Americans simply giving up and no longer even bothering to look for work anymore. So welfare lines are growing and growing, and national debt grown so large in the last 5 years. It's increased 50% under this administration, and those who have been too chicken to stand up against incurring even more debt. But that debt that's rising, growing so large that our kids and our grandkids are never going to be able to pay it back. No matter how they spin it, those Orwellian double-speaking words that we hear so often today, no, the economy is still miserable, and with every overreaching, inefficient, and ineffective big government solution that the Church of Big Government imposes, folks, our freedoms fade. Should we have faith in it when it clearly doesn't have faith in us? Now, that church, you have to ask yourself, does it care about you? Or does it have faith in your ability and your right to govern yourself based on your priorities? That church that is now so arrogant that it believes it can spy on its citizens and lie and block our participation in a democratic process within our republic. No, I think that truly we should not have faith in it because it does not have faith in us, and things must change. And friends, there is an implicit warning in those words of John Adams. Our Constitution, wholly inadequate to any besides a moral and religious people. He said that as a warning. He warned us our liberty depends on a moral character because an immoral and indifferent people fall prey to unscrupulous leaders, those who would ignore the Constitution in favor of their own fundamental transformation agenda. He had that warning, I think, providentially, and he left us that gift of a warning. Leaders who would enrich themselves and their cronies while the nation goes bankrupt. Leaders who would exempt themselves from the laws that they force on the rest of us. That's dictatorship. Leaders, remember this, they promised that they would do everything in their power to fight against socialized medicine, against Obamacare. But when it came time to stand and defund it, they waved the white flag of surrender and they threw under the bus the good guys who did stand up and fight for us, senators like Ted Cruz and Mike Lee. And you know who I'm talking about. It's both sides of the aisle, doggone it. Look at these Obamacare supporters now, though, especially the Democrats running in red states. They're running for re-election and they're running for political cover. They're scurrying away from so many lies and arrogantly assuming that, we're just too dense or too busy anyway to do anything about it as they try to rewrite history. But, well, I think you know me well enough to know that I'm not going to just preach to the choir and repeat and remind you all what the problem is. You know what the problem is. I like a call to action, I like talking solutions. So here we go. I want to encourage you to make your voice heard, to hold politicians accountable. Tell those around you, your friends, your colleagues, tell anyone who will listen. Ask them, you like your government? You can keep your government. Just keep sitting on your thumbs and acting indifferent, and you're going to keep the government that we have. No, instead, you can get involved. Get involved with those independent, patriotic, grassroots Tea Party movements that are out there standing up for the right values for America. You know what kind of cracks me up are some of these Republicans who act a little bit embarrassed about the Tea Party movement, not understanding how independent it is without titles and organization and, these inside battles for positions. It truly is a grassroots independent movement. And some of these Republicans would kind of, when it's convenient, shy away from any association with the Tea Party. That says a lot. So keep your eyes and ears open for those who would hesitate to embrace what the Tea Party movement is all about. Remember what Tea Party, the acronym, what it stands for, what it stood for at the very beginning. It's taxed enough already. What is so wrong and radical about recognizing that we are taxed enough already? And that it's the Constitution that needs to be followed. That's the blueprint that leads us towards a more perfect union. What the heck is so radical about that? I encourage you to get involved in the Tea Party movement and don't stay home. And like I say, don't just preach to the choir. The 2014 midterm elections, thankfully, they're just around the corner, as Phyllis Schlafly alluded to. Be courageously a part of this next election cycle. Man, keep the faith. And the fact that you are here tonight, that proves your passion, your courage, the commitment that it does take to make that positive difference that's so needed in America. It proves that you still care. So keep the faith and share it, and know that you have a role and a responsibility in protecting the heart of a free America. Gotta stiffen our spines. And remember, though sometimes it may be kind of hard to believe, remember that elections come and go, so the era of Obama is coming to an end, I promise. The era of Obama, my son had a bumper sticker that said the error of Obama is coming to an end, until I think one of his, he wasn't allowed to keep it on his truck on base, so we had to. But those 2014 midterm elections, your involvement there, absolutely imperative. What about, though, after the era of Obama is over? What about our fellow Americans who will still be struggling and feeling beaten down, struggling to come up for air after 8 years of growing government and more taxes and more debt and less prosperity and less freedom? Now, coming up that the other side will just offer more of the same, more false promises, more free stuff. And the media, for far too long, will go along with it and all the deception. What will you counter it with? See, this free stuff is so seductive. Why do you think marketers use free stuff to bring people in? Free stuff is such a strong marketing ploy. It's a tool. That lure of free stuff is seductive. But didn't you all learn, too, in Econ 101, there ain't no such thing as a free lunch? Our free stuff today is being paid for by taking money from our children and borrowing from China. When that note comes due, and this isn't racist, so try it anyway. This isn't racist, but it's going to be like slavery when that note is due, right? We are going to be beholden to a foreign master because there is no plan. There is no plan coming out of Washington, D.C. to stop the incurrence of debt, is there? All we're hearing about is why we need to grow more debt. I learned, man, if you're in a hole and you don't want to be in that hole, quit digging. Instead, if we keep going down this road towards bankruptcy, It's just common sense. You already know. I won't waste your time. You already know. But I challenge you now, though, that, well, there comes a point in every great movement, and the next movement, that great awakening, it is coming. I know it's coming. There's that point when simply being the opposition, though, isn't enough. For the past 5 years, haven't we all been that hockey goalie in the net, deflecting as many of the radical left's pucks as possible? But if we want to restore this great nation and win back the trust of her people, we need more than defense and opposition. Our daughter Piper, she is in the midst of the most important thing in the world today. And if you looked at our schedule, our family schedule, it kind of reflects that really middle school girls basketball really is the most important thing in the Palin family. Well, it kind of is right now. So Piper, in the midst of her season, we're reminding her all the time, yes, Piper, be tenacious on defense, like a barracuda. Yeah, but remember, defense alone doesn't win the game. You gotta reach the goal, babe. So, in defense of our republic, criticism as opposition, and the word no, it's great, it's essential. But don't let the media shape some kind of false narrative that says that that's our only answer. That's bull. That is not our only answer. Common sense conservatism stands for something. So let's get it out there. Let's better articulate, as Mike Lee talks about, needing to articulate what that better vision is and our deep concern for the downtrodden. Explain our better vision for moving the poor and the underemployed out of poverty and out from the shackles of dependency on government. We stand for truth. We stand for faith and family and freedom and work ethic, free markets, equal opportunity. We stand for the sanctity of innocent human life itself. We stand for the things that are right and free and good about America. Those things that created the most exceptional, prosperous, safest, the most voluntarily generous nation on earth, those virtues. And these are time-tested truths that show that we care sincerely for our fellow countrymen and recognize that they're not wards of the state, but free men and women who can live good and productive lives without DC's appointed best and brightest telling us what to do. We stand for faith, and we stand for faith in something greater than self. We recognize we're fallible. We don't pretend to have all the answers, but we can have faith in He who does. This week, I was able to speak at Billy Graham's 95th birthday party, and I tell you, I think that was the most humbling event ever that I was able to participate in. Absolutely humbling. He left us with a poignant word in a video that they showed that night. He was talking about his personal faith. His quote was, "My hope is not centered in this world. My hope is centered in the person of our Lord Jesus Christ." Billy Graham is so right to not have that hope in a politician or politics or system, government. That's false hope. Hope, fingers crossed, hope, especially that politically strange, hopey-changey stuff that's part of our political system today, it is proven to be futile in politics. So instead of that hope rhetoric just blindly accepted and tried to be applied, Well, the solution is to try something else. And if we really want to win back America, restore America so that we can progress forward, why did we let the left hijack that term progress? We want to progress forward this great nation towards a more perfect union for all, for that equal opportunity, so that all may have that good life in the greatest country on earth. Progress forward, win back America. In order to do that, instead of that hopey, changey stuff, let's apply a new term. How about perfectly your term? That's faith and freedom. Faith that a providential hand can still guide us. Let's ask for it and accept it. And faith that we can still stand for government of the people, by the people, for the people, as intended. And showing faith in our fellow Americans, that optimistic faith that America's best days are straight ahead. They don't have to be in the rearview mirror. And faith that we all have a role in this. You do. Everybody, individually. And playing small doesn't do anybody any good in these times. You're equipped for this. You're unique. You're given unique talents and interests and passions and gifts. You're given unique circumstances to get you ready to live out that role that you're destined for, to make a big difference what our nation needs today. Have faith that God didn't make any mistake in you. We used to sing a song in Sunday school that said, God don't make no junk. I hum that to myself as I'm jogging along with sometimes some doubts, sometimes some, wow, maybe, I don't know if it's the miles that are catching up with me and I'm tired, or just sometimes, mentally, emotionally, you get tired. You think, am I beating my head against a wall? And are we being effective? Are we making that change that needs to be made? And so often I'm thinking that while I'm running, and then leaning into those verses, into the scripture that reminds me that, God does have a purpose and a plan, and He writes our name on the palm of His hands. Like I write my cheat sheet notes on the palm of my hands. He writes our name on the palm of His hands, which tells us that we are uniquely created with destiny. And I have to believe that destiny is to contribute positively in the real change that our country needs, that next great awakening that can fundamentally restore, not fundamentally transform America, but fundamentally restore all that is good and right and free. Have faith that you have a role and a responsibility in that mission. And finally, have faith that, even when we do get tired, we will be sustained as we work to fundamentally restore this most blessed nation. I thank you so much for your courage, your candidness, your boldness, the work ethic that especially, it seems, Iowans exemplify. The rest of the country, the rest of the world could learn so much from what it is that we have here, the heart of America. God bless you, Iowa, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you.
Thank you, Governor. Pastor Doug Raymond